Tonight on OC News, Orange County is almost in the red COVID tier. Find out how close we are to opening up restaurants and other businesses. Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm are gearing up for opening soon, and a formal investigation into Tiger Woods' car crash is underway to find out if there was any foul play involved. All this plus a look at why some Catholic bishops are encouraging followers not to get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, plus a look at sports and entertainment. OC News starts right now. Welcome and thank you for joining us at OC News. I'm Sam Pena. OC News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Fullerton. As other counties in California move to a more relaxed tier, Orange County will remain in the most restrictive tier in the state's pandemic tracking system. For the past 2 weeks, Orange County has seen positive COVID cases and hospitalization numbers go down. But it wasn't enough to get the county to move into the red tier, which means that they will remain in the fourth tier for 2 more weeks. Moving up to the red tier would allow gyms, movie theaters, restaurants, and other businesses to open indoors at a certain capacity. For Orange County to enter the red tier, the rate of COVID cases needs to be 7 per 1,000 residents. As of Tuesday, it is 7.6 per 1,000 residents. The Catholic Church is telling their members to not get the new Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Some U.S. bishops are disagreeing with the new COVID vaccine that was approved for immediate use on Monday by the FDA. The argument the church is using is that the vaccine has lab-grown cells taken from 1980s aborted fetuses. They are suggesting to their members to get other COVID vaccines that are available. But health experts are saying that people should take the vaccine that is made available to them, as they are not in a position where they can be choosing. Meanwhile, in Texas, Governor Abbott has lifted the state's mask mandates. We turn it over to Diana Garcia, who has the very latest. Diana?
Thank you, Sam. While American citizens are still waiting to get their COVID-19 vaccines, Texas Governor Greg Abbott ordered to end the state mandate mask. White House senior advisor criticized the governor's decisions, saying it is wrong. It's a wrong time to lift the mask mandate.
Effective next Wednesday, all businesses of any type are allowed to open 100%. Also, I am ending the statewide mask mandate.
Slavitt asked the community to continue following the guidelines health restrictions until everyone gets the vaccine. They are in constant conversation with the states and health officials to accelerate the vaccines. This is the most important time for people to make sure we all work together to end the pandemic, he said. And in other news, we have a Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And Minnesota residents are receiving COVID-19 vaccine from Johnson & Johnson. The shipment arrived today.
Where did this lead from?
The first 100 doses of the one-shot Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine will be administered this Saturday. Mike Boesleyer, Vice President of Support Service and the Duluth-based health system, is expecting to receive larger shipments in the future. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine was approved for emergency use by federal regulators over the weekend. And the CDC is asking the community to continue wearing face masks. Rochelle Walensky, director of
or not, as individuals and as communities, we can still take the right public health action to protect ourselves and others. Wearing a well-fitting mask, avoiding travel in crowds, social distancing, and practicing good hand hygiene. Now more than ever, we must do all we can to stop the spread of the virus.
Chair Walensky, director of the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, called all individuals to continue the fight against coronavirus. She said Texas Governor Abbott is being premature in dropping COVID-19 restrictions. Experts warn that the United States needs to hold on for another 2 or 3 months without easing COVID-19 measures to avoid another surge.
Cal State Fullerton University is proud to have an alum working on the NASA Team Mars in 2020. Diana Garcia has the details.
Here at Cal State Fullerton, Lauren Ducharme led the Titan rover team, and now she's making history as part of the team of Mars 2020 NASA mission. Perseverance rover mission landed on February 18, 2021. Duchamp, who is a mechanical engineering alumna, now is a flight system engineer at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena and worked on leading space technology since 2014. She has been involved in research and engineering development for technologies to return Mars rock and soil samples back to Earth for studies to seek signs of ancient life on the red planet. Cal State Fullerton President Virgie congratulated her on social media. Duchamp, who grew up in Garden Grove, is now an inspiration of other students, especially women, pursuing their goals.
I think that Lorraine Ducharme is doing amazing work at NASA, and it is very awesome and impressive that she's doing all this work. And she helped put a rover on Mars. That is an amazing feat. And it's great that she's also from Cal State Fullerton. Awesome.
I think having a woman working on the Mars project, that was called the Mars project for NASA, is making history and paving the way for other women going into that field, and showing other men that we can do it and that we're great at it.
From Fullerton, this is Diana Garcia reporting for OC News.
Thank you, Diana. Well, as we're looking forward, we're going to be looking at how, following sexual assault allegations, lawmakers are calling on the New York City Governor Cuomo to resign. Connor O'Brien has Cuomo's response and more on politics. Connor?
Thanks, Sam. Today we're going to start in Washington, D.C., where earlier today, women at the White House responded to Texas lifting the statewide mask mandate.
But we're asking people to listen to health experts, medical experts, the CDC, to Dr. Fauci, to others who are basing their recommendations on how to save people's lives. That's what we're asking people to do.
Cases down and the vaccine rollout well underway. President Biden wants Americans to be smart and continue wearing masks.
I think it's a big mistake. Look, I hope everybody's realized by now, these masks make a difference.
Many lawmakers have called on Andrew Cuomo to resign amid sexual assault.
I wasn't elected by politicians. I was elected by the people of the state of New York. I'm not going to resign.
The public and politicians have taken this time to criticize the longtime New York governor.
There are far too many state legislators who are more worried about protecting their own hide, their own political future, or being punished by a governor that's a bully.
After receiving credible threats of an attack on the U.S. Capitol, the House of Representatives canceled Thursday's session. Tomorrow's date of March 4th is the day that, according to some conspiracy theorists, former President Donald Trump would be elected for a second term. The Washington Post reported that Capitol Police identified a group with a potential plan to breach the Capitol building. With concern mounting, the House elected to move their vote to tonight. The Senate is still planning to meet tomorrow to vote on a potential third COVID stimulus package. That's all the time we have today on politics. Sending it back to you, Sam.
Thank you, Connor. Grocery and pharmacy workers in Santa Ana are expecting a pay increase temporarily after the city council approved what's called Hero Pay last night. The council voted Tuesday and approved a pay increase for those working in pharmacy and grocery. Stores with more than 300 workers nationwide and at least 15 employees per store in Santa Ana are moving forward with an additional $4 for each hour worked. Although Santa Ana is not the first city approved for the pay increase, it is the first in Orange County to execute it. The new local law has begun and will last for 4 months. Some cities in Orange County are also planning to vote as well. Buena Park and Costa Mesa will vote next week on similar $4 per hour increases. Irvine has already approved a similar law on February 23rd that will take effect March 26th. Homeland Security has launched a human smuggling investigation after 13 people were killed in a collision at the US-Mexico border. The crash occurred in Imperial County, 10 miles north of the border. Authorities believe that the vehicle occupants were undocumented immigrants after video surveillance revealed a breach in border fencing. The cause of the crash has yet to be found. The vehicle was designed to hold 8 people, but was carrying 25 at the time of the crash. The investigation has become a top priority for Homeland Security after mounting concerns over border crashes, with many of the wrecks involving immigrant families. Once the pandemic hit, the homeless population was affected heavily by the virus. In response, the state of California formed multiple projects to get them off the streets and into affordable housing. Reporter Bree Eastlick takes us inside of one of the motels currently being renovated in Northern California.
When COVID-19 hit, the state of California formed Operation Room Key to get the homeless off the streets and into local hotel rooms to help stop the spread of the virus. With that program ending, Operation Home Key was created, allowing for those individuals to have a permanent residence.
So Home Key is permanent housing that is done on a rehab of motels. So if you have a motel and you don't want to be in the motel business anymore, you want to sell your property to an affordable housing developer, then you could have applied for Home Key funding in order to do that rehab. And there's several projects in Sacramento that are taking place in the Sacramento region, and this is one of them.
One of these motels is the Folsom Lodge Motel located in Folsom, California. Overlooking the project is Hope Cooperative. They run 8 different affordable housing projects in the Sacramento region, where they help their residents with job searching and counseling.
All of our clients pretty much are disabled. Now, can they work? Yes. And does it happen? Absolutely. So over time, people get stable, they get their medical, psychiatric, behavioral health services, addiction services, whatever it is that they need to increase their stability. As they become stable, people do naturally start looking for meaningful activity.
With funding from the state and a grant from their next-door neighbor, Bank of America, to furnish the units, they hope to be in operation by April 1st. The developers are working to finish their renovations and make the building homey for its residents and their furry friends.
And this will be an area where the tenants can come out and be outside and enjoy some time instead of hanging out in a parking lot or in the front of the building. We'll have a nice access area in the back for them. And one of the things that I'm a big advocate of is pets. And I do want to allow certain requirements for pets because I feel that people, everybody could use a pet to help them through life.
Hope Cooperative is looking up and hopes their residents can find a community where they can build a life for themselves and find the help they need to excel and keep off the streets.
I want this to be a safe and permanent place where people can call it their home. I want the folks that live here to have a sense of community, to be able to explore what their next hopes and dreams might be, because you can't do that from the street. Once people come out of homelessness and live in stable housing, they have the opportunity to build a community, to get the kind of support they need to take that next step, whatever that might be.
Reporting for OC News, I'm Bree Eastlick.
Still ahead on OC News, a celebrity doctor saved a life while waiting for a flight. And Knott's is looking to hire 1,700 people. We'll have more on the story after the break. Welcome back to OC News. Cal State Fullerton has planned to close its satellite campus after this semester. Connor O'Brien has the details.
Since 1989, Cal State Fullerton has also held classes in South Orange County. This Irvine campus has been home to about 4,000 students each year since 2011. But due to the COVID-19 pandemic, all classes at the Irvine campus have been forced online, leaving these doors closed and locked. With funding an issue, this campus will close permanently on June 30th. Dr. Steve Walk, Associate Vice President of Orange County Affairs, acknowledges finances played a factor in the Irvine campus closing.
Unfortunately, the Irvine Center is one of the things that the campus, one of the moves the campus had to make in order to navigate these circumstances.
Students are disappointed, as many enjoyed the Irvine campus due to its proximity to home.
And it was just so convenient. It was just a straight shot down the toll road for me, 15, 12 minutes away. And yeah, I mean, the location was prime, right next to the beach.
Students like Lee enjoyed the smaller class sizes as it created more of an intimate environment.
The class sizes were way smaller and it felt more personalized. Like I was able to have a conversation with my teacher every single class.
Even with the campus closing, Dr. Walk is hopeful the campus will continue its South Orange County commitment.
Our commitment as a university, of course, is always to educate all of Orange County. That's our service area, and that's the reason why the university has been in South County starting at Saddleback 30 years ago. That's where all of this began. I have no reason to believe that the campus will not continue that commitment in the ways that it can.
Reporting from Cal State Fullerton's Irvine campus, I'm Connor O'Brien for OC News.
Thank you, Connor. Cal State Fullerton's Board of Directors met in a special conference to discuss the Titan Student Center's Board of Trustees. By a 13-2 vote, the Board of Trustees was officially dissolved. The meeting lasted over an hour and featured statements from 13 student speakers. Most of the speakers supported the decision, arguing that the board did not represent the majority of students. The board has primarily featured CSUF's business school and only one fraternity. After the decision, the board created 2 additional committees to take over the board's responsibilities. The move eliminated 10 staff positions, but ASI believes it will help increase student representation. After being closed due to COVID restrictions for a year, Knott's Berry Farm is kicking off its reopening with an online job fair. They announced Monday that the fair, scheduled for March 13th, will feature 1,700 open positions. These positions range from everywhere from amusement operators, food services, and merchandise. The fair will include informational presentations on positions, as well as opportunities to interview individually with recruitment teams. While the actual parks remain closed due to COVID restrictions, the Knott's Berry Farm Hotel, California Marketplace, and the Knott's Chicken Diner restaurants are continuing to have their outdoor dining areas open. Disneyland California Adventure is opening for a special event. For those missing the Disney experience, California Adventure will open March 18th for a limited capacity event called A Touch of Disney. Attractions will still be closed, but visitors will be able to enjoy classic Disney foods, including Dole Whip, churros, Mickey pretzels, chicken skewers, and lobster nachos. Some stores will be open, and some characters may even be ready to take socially distanced pictures. Tickets will be sold for $25, which includes admission, parking, and a $25 dining card. Another famous actor might be taking a step into politics, but first, the Miss Universe pageant took a year off for COVID. Will they be returning? Elisa Garcia has our entertainment update. Elisa?
Thank you, Sam. Celebrity TV doctor Mehmet Oz saved a man's life Monday night. A 60-year-old man collapsed at Newark Liberty International Airport in New Jersey Monday night. Oz, along with Port Authority police, performed CPR on the man who collapsed to the floor by baggage claim. The man did not have a pulse and was not breathing. Officer Jeffrey Croissant hurried over and called for help. Dr. Oz was nearby and rushed over to help. The man is currently in the hospital for further evaluation. After more than a year, the Miss Universe pageant returns. The competition will be held at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida, May 16th, after being postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The current Miss Universe is Zozubini Tunzi, who has held the title since winning back in December 2019. She was the first Black woman from South Africa to win the crown. Actor Will Smith hints he may be getting into politics on an interview with Pod Save America. Smith mentioned the idea. He was promoting his new Netflix docuseries, Amen, The Fight for America. The series covers the fight for equal rights in the U.S. under the 14th Amendment. Smith was asked if he can consider running for political office himself in the future. He responded, quote, "I'll consider it at some point down the line." Smith said he wanted to do his part, whether it remains artistically or venturing into politics. That's all we have for entertainment. Back to you, Sam.
Thank you, Elisa. Coming up on OC News, CSUF basketball is officially back in season, and a sports drink app is revolutionizing the way we hydrate.
You could be spreading the coronavirus without realizing you have it, so do your part and stay home. It's important to limit in-person interaction with anyone outside of your immediate household, but phone and video chat are safe ways to connect. It's also important to limit social gatherings. If you need essential items like food and medicine, try using a delivery service. If you must leave your house for essential items, or if you want to take a walk for exercise, make sure to wear a cloth face covering. Stay at least 6 feet away from other people. Try not to frequently touch surfaces like light signals, street signs, or benches. And wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds as often as possible. This advice applies to people of any age, including teens and younger adults. It takes all of us to slow the spread of the coronavirus, so stay home unless absolutely necessary. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
Welcome back to OC News. And now an update on the car crash of professional golfer Tiger Woods. The Los Angeles Sheriff's Department has obtained a warrant to retrieve the data from the black box in Woods' SUV. A warrant can only be obtained if there is probable cause, even if it is a misdemeanor. Similar to a plane, the black box keeps track of speed, steering angles, and acceleration, and more. The Los Angeles Police Department is hoping it will give insight to what happened leading up to the crash that left the golfer seriously injured. Woods is currently at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, recovering after serious injuries to his legs. Looking to quench your thirst? Gatorade is unveiling new technology to help keep you hydrated. Kayla Calderon has all that and more in Sports Tonight. Kayla?
Thank you, Sam. Starting off in sports today, Cal State Fullerton men's golf finished in 9th place at the Sacramento State Invitational with a total score of 878. The men were on track to place within the top 5 teams leading up to the final day of the tournament. Garrett Bowe, Harry Doig, Matt Rafter, Trevor McNary, and Tegan Andrews represented CSUF as a team, while Jack Smith competed as an individual. Bowe tied for the 16th spot on the individual leaderboard with an even par score of 216. Andrews and Doig trickled behind and both tied for the 30th spot with a score of 3 over par for the entire tournament. Smith landed in the 50th spot, Rafter tied for 63rd, and McNary finished in 79th place. The Titans' next match will be in a couple of weeks at the Grand Canyon University Invitational from March 14th to the 16th. Yesterday, CFUF's baseball team had an unsettling performance in their first midweek game of the season. They played against UCLA, and the ending score was 14-1 Bruins. From the jump, the Bruins' bats were on fire, tallying 10 hits, 2 of which were home runs. As the night drew to a close, Fullerton had used 7 pitchers. Christian Rodriguez started on the mound for the Titans, and the Bruins wasted no time behind the plate. The Titans allowed for a 4-run second inning due in part to wild pitches and errors in left field. Their bats never came around as they ended with only 2 recorded hits by the 8th and 9th batters. The Titans' record is now 3-4 as they head into their game against USC on Friday night. They will have a shot at redemption when they play UCLA again on Saturday afternoon. Justin, Gatorade wants you to not only indulge in their beverages, but they also want to tell you how to do it most effectively. Their new smart patch, called the GX Sweat Patch, Measure sweat in order to tell you the exact amount of Gatorade you should be drinking. It comes in the form of a sticker and is placed on your inner arm prior to working out. Once it measures how much sweat you've produced, the smartphone app that correlates with the sticker will then tell you how much sodium and fluids you've lost and how much of the sports drink you will need to consume in order to replenish yourself. Currently, you can purchase 2 patches for $25, and they are a one-time use product. That wraps up all the time we have for sports. Now back to Sam.
Thank you, Kayla. Well, that's going to do it for us here tonight at OC News. But remember, the news never stops. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media accounts at OC News CSUF. Have a good night, and we'll see you back here on Monday night at 5.